Welcome, everybody. Sorry, this is a little bit of a weird start to this particular session. Unfortunately, the first hour or so of audio got unfortunately corrupted. So I'm going to give you a brief GM's description of what happened in the first part of the session, as the audio was left unusable for the first hour or so. The party began this session after waking up the morning after, returning to the barracks of the Hooded Lanterns, anticipating heading eastward towards the Black Ivory Inn, this supposed place where one of the remaining seals of the city was supposedly available to be taken by anyone willing and able to find it. Multiple agents, supposedly, of the Queensmen had gone missing in that area. The Black Ivory Inn, supposedly near the northeastern corner of the city at King's Gate. The party headed eastward through the heart of Drakenheim, heading towards the cosmological clock tower. From there, threading the needle between the deep haze around Slaughterstone Square and the southern edge, or the northern edge of the Duran River on their south. In that process, the party encountered some strange creatures, almost stumbling in front of them in doing so. These strange amphibious dregs, clearly some sort of monstrous creatures, either individuals who had succumbed to the contamination of the haze or some other strange creatures found themselves climbing out of one of the sewer grates between the various buildings in this part of the city. The party then proceeded to try to sneak by, and that's where we will go ahead and pick up with the not quite so scuffed audio. And welcome back to simply another band of curiously odd travelers. To fill you in, Georgio, now that you're back, Tim almost stepped out into the line of sight of some of these strange amphibious creatures that you now see on the screen. Okay. These humanoid creatures that have fish and or frog or some sort of amphibious-like features, gills around the neck, no hair, just bald, veiny, mucus-covered bodies. Still 2 arms and 2 legs, but, webbed feet and hands. Thankfully, Cedric, with that 6, pulled him back before you all were noticed by these creatures. There's currently 3 of them that have crawled out of this sewer grate down the alley. You've never seen anything like this before. You can see now, as you kind of barely peek around with your passive perception, you can see the neck is kind of moving, like it has some sort of secondary breathing apparatus, but it also has a mouth and eyes. I was saying earlier that one of the creature's eyes is almost like these fish eyes that are more to the outside perimeter of its face than it is directly in the visual, like between a nose of some kind. It is somewhere between a fish and a man as it crawls out of this sewer grate. As Chugrulk observed, it has this mucus-like quality all over its body. If you'd like to give me a perception check to see if you see anything else, you're welcome to. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say that I think, just from the picture, we're also kind of a little bit afraid of this mucus sac that looks like someone's back, and it seems to have some pretty good vision, or it's got something going on. But then that's completely based on aesthetics. So I'm just, I haven't learned anything from, that's not from our boy, so.
But if you'd like to learn more or see more, or you're welcome to make a perception check. I think, everyone's pretty much given one at this point.
I'm I don't think we would have any chance just like sneaking past these guys with all of us in all this gross heavy armor.
In very noisy armor, yeah.
Yeah.
Clankety clank clank.
Yeah, right. But it's not like I necessarily like want to engage in combat with these guys.
Both very true.
Okay. I'm going to just signal towards everyone, or at least try to like say it quietly, just to like go once all these things turn. And I'm just gonna go for it, and I'm gonna cast yeah, I'll cast Thaumaturgy like kind of further down the alleyway from where we are, basically past where those guys are, to go ahead and just try to like get their attention diverted away from where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead
just
and
go-
give me a deception check.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know if Thaumaturgy gives you advantage on that or not.
It doesn't really say. It's just that I just create some sort of
Okay.
thing, essentially.
All right. Let me make some rolls here.
A 9 with a +5 is stupid.
You notice two of the creatures immediately turn when you cast Thaumaturgy. One of them is still kind of... Two of them... Just this gurgling noise, like as if there's words trying to come out at first. You watch two of them begin to head down that alleyway, one standing still, and it's at this point as you're kind of focusing on, you hear the one that's kind of looking.
Limits found it. For the Duchess. For the Duchess. Found it.
In a more common tongue, you roughly think
The
you hear,
Duchess?
"We must find it. We must find it for the Duchess."
Well, no, I'm just kind of curious more than anything. You can't just drop that. Shit.
I'm not. Nope. Don't care. Nope.
What would you all like to do?
I mean, the sound is going for a minute. So we have time to move until they kind of go and discover whatever it is.
You've noticed, like I said, two of them have headed off in that direction that you cast Thaumaturgy, and one is still roughly where he was standing earlier, still kind of looking up and down this alleyway, but hasn't really moved away from where they came out of the grate.
I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you just want to try to skulk past this one? Or... I just don't even know what else we can do. It's kind of like a...
Yeah, I mean, I'm here, like, still, like, holding my hilt on the very, very worst case scenario, but I don't want to, like, you know, start that shit, like, until it's necessary.
Yeah. Georgio, Tim?
Yeah. If we could go undetected, that'd be great. Just because we're like,
Yeah.
we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I think like I'm just ready because like these things are amphibious, and I know that like my sword bears fire, so I'm ready, but I'm not
but don't want
willing.
to.
Yeah, like if that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I guess
But
we're just gonna try to go
I think we
across
just
this
ascend.
alley.
Yeah. See how it goes.
Okay.
What are we rolling?
We're rolling.
If you're
some stuff,
trying,
though.
yeah,
Stealth
if you're
disadvantage.
You're gonna-
Yeah.
if you're trying to sneak past these guys, I'm gonna need stealth checks from everybody.
Every single one of us.
I'm
has
at disadvantage.
on stuff.
So just I know I
You roll
asked
2,
every
take the
time.
lower.
Roll twice and then
Right.
lower. Yeah.
It
Oh my gosh. That
Did they come
I'm not
through?
too upset with that actually. I've got a 19 as my lower.
Hey, sorry.
That's with
everybody.
your bonus.
Yeah.
Okay.
my
Roll
thing
two
is-
twos.
I rolled 2 2s.
Oh,
I got
Yeah.
+2 on it, so it's a total of 4.
Four.
That's-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 19,
lucky. I
a
got,
4,
Got 18 and 13, so take it.
a 9.
Fucking
from-
9.
Okay.
My roll didn't come through, but I shit you not, it was a nat 20 and a nat 1.
Okay.
Whoa,
So
Okay.
a 22 and a 3.
that's crazy. Nat 20 and a nat 1? That's
Alright.
like, what are the odds actually? Someone's got to know that. That's crazy.
You
We are not
all-
getting past this thing.
I hope they're soft.
Chugrulk, you're
Yeah,
the
right.
first to, as soon as you see this creature turn its head, you rush across as quickly as possible, fairly certain that you've made it past Tim and Cedric, or I'm sorry, Tim and Georgio. You rush across, and as you see this sort of opening as well, rushing through, but turning back, uncertain if your companion has looked, and right as you turn, Cedric, you right into the back of Georgio's heavy dwarven plate armor. Just sounding like somebody kicked in the back of
Over
a
here,
fucking shed. And it
Like
is
that
just...
pipe sound.
Yeah, it's like somebody toppled over a shelf in a Home Depot. It is loud as hell. As you stumble forward prone for a moment and look back as this creature immediately turns and looks at you. Just spitting mucus as the other two turn and look at you and start rushing down the alleyway at you all. What are you doing?
And where on the map are we now?
So I'm furthest away
This
now,
is sort
like,
of theater of the
unfortunately.
mind right now, but you are roughly. Let me get this out of the way.
Yeah, because I'm.
You're roughly about this
1-4
corner in the southwest edge of Market Square.
Yeah, and I'm the furthest away from the action because like I got the highest roll, so like theoretically, like I thought I was
We
out.
can be
and
wherever
so I
we want.
yeeted, Yeah.
Right, you're
No,
right
just,
in front of the alleyway, the three of
just
you,
kinda-
and then
'Cause I'm
Chugrulk, you're
wondering
about.
If, like,
oh, go ahead.
if because of my high roll, could I have been more reactive to this? And like I said, I was trying to be.
It's not
you
really
know,
a
I got my
reaction
sword.
at this point. You were
Yeah, okay,
stealthing, yeah.
So I'm going fast. No, so that's all right.
I would
So
say
I'm
you're
just trying
about
to figure
30 feet ahead of your companions here,
Yeah, so I'm a
um,
decent chunk like
out of
past them,
sight,
yeah.
but they are very much like in the sight. The creatures that are now dashing towards them are probably about 120 feet back as they run towards the three of you.
Right, so they're not on them yet. Okay.
No, you've probably got, a couple rounds before they would reach you. But what are you doing?
Do we want to run for it?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I thought
Yeah, we can
someone
always-
was grabbed.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
because
we can run.
how
maybe we
how
just
far are
run.
we? We have to make a decision quick. I'm assuming, but we're a quarter mile, right?
Yeah. I mean, we could run. The only thing is, we might attract other people, but I'm sure we would on
Probably will with the noise of these.
On running
fucking
anyways,
Screeching.
so
Like,
yeah, I have no problem running or trying
I'm
to
down to run. I'm
get
down
up
to
on the
run.
rooftops or something.
What do we got in athletics or there? Like, what do we
I
do?
mean, if you're running, are you
Yeah.
are you dashing? You're just running all out. Like, what are you guys doing?
I think we're just yeeting. Yeah.
We definitely have, if we can get to the clock tower and it's secured like we think, we have
we're
a place to
hoping it's
rest.
secure.
So-
so it's like I'm
Yeah,
if
let's,
we think that it's like a
go to
safer
full
spot
sprint.
there. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
go ahead and call this a skill challenge then.
Woo!
Damn it, I wanted
Um,
athletics.
So you can use athletics.
Yeah, it will probably be that.
We haven't
However you want to try to evade these creatures, slow them down, whatever you want to use, whatever resources are at your disposal, whatever you find best, but they are chasing after you. Cedric, I would say because of the nat 1, your speed is halved right now because you're having to stand up from prone.
That's fine.
But so your speed for this first round will be halved.
It's
We'll
15.
Yeah. You can still dash as your action, but they're about at this point about 120 feet behind you, but gaining rapidly. In fact, somebody go ahead and roll me Chugrulk, since you rolled the highest. Go ahead and roll me a d20 and add your. Go ahead and just roll initiative, if you don't mind. We're gonna have opposed initiatives here just to make this simple.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So 10.
10?
Yep.
All right. You guys will go first.
Oh,
Fantastic.
They rolled a 7.
Oh, we take that.
So however you guys want to do this, the order doesn't really matter, but, we'll say that you need 4 successes before 2 failures.
sure.
Otherwise, we're going to go into initiative.
Okay. And we're running through kind of alleys and stuff.
You can run through
Or
alleys
are
or
we-
you can run through open streets, however you want to do this.
So we've been walking through an open street, and then we passed by
Right.
this alley where these
Right.
creatures were.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pretty much in the main open street, not necessarily in the wide open market square, but on one of the main streets.
A wider road. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we sprinting our balls off, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we need to do something to move fast, or do something to slow them down.
Yep.
Let's see.
Let's see here.
Well, hold on. Well, no, that might.
How? And you said this is one of the bigger streets. Is there is everything's kind of run down? Is there debris anywhere? Is there anything that? If I look around, you do perception check.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check. We'll call this your first skill challenge here.
6 and perception is 6, so 12 on perception.
12. Okay.
Looking for anything that I could use as an obstacle to maybe throw in their path, or
Sure.
or
You
to vault over so that they, because I
Right.
think that we would be more agile than them.
it's hard to tell when you're just immediately turning and dashing. In this instance, you turn and look for anything. You try to swing open a nearby door, but it's locked as you do this. You notice that there's a turned over cart, but it is way too big for you to, even at your large stature, to try to move in front in a rapid, rapid mentality. We're going to go ahead and call that one failure.
Okay.
God.
Just quick question for skill challenge. Are we using proficiencies only?
It's whatever you want to do, whatever you.
Okay.
It will affect the DC depending on what you're trying to do and how you want to do it. Certain resources. Sure.
I've had DMs where it's you can only use skills you're proficient in for the skill challenges, which is I was just curious. So
I look at
I
it
am
this way:
proficient in
if you,
perception,
some people cast spells to try to give them, a greater boon to these efficiencies that may or may not grant advantage depending on how you use them. It's just I look at it this way: it's how creative can you be in this situation?
Yeah, I was thinking possibly, well, while we're running, if I can, I was thinking just it sounds cartoony, but I can try to cast Ray of Frost, like cast it on the ground and make like ice so that they would fucking slip up. I mean, that's an
love
that's an
that.
idea. That's what I could think of.
I like it. I like it. Go ahead and roll me an attack roll as you're
Yeah.
running the other way. We're gonna go ahead and say the AC or the target you're trying to hit is a 15, but you got a 16.
Got it.
So cool.
Fantastic.
You're basically just trying to cast an area in front of them. So yes, that is one success as you cast Ray of Frost. The first one, the guy that immediately saw you, the one that hung back, is the first to encounter this, and immediately just goes to step across. Let me go ahead and roll him a dex save to see whether or not he continues to run. But fuck no, he slips and busts his ass and slams into one of the walls. The other two, seeing this, just full slip and slide, intentionally glide over their bellies, seeing this other one, and just
Sure.
and then continue to
hilarious.
slide as they stand up, almost like they've done this before.
Jesus.
But they're still running, but only because they saw the other one fail in front of them. But that is one success.
Okay, so we're one.
Damn.
Four
You're
successes,
1 and
4
1.
failures.
Yeah.
I would like to hang back.
Okay.
Be at the back of the pack. I have an idea,
Okay.
but I want to. This is going to be the last roll, I think, because if everybody takes the chance, then I'll take the sixth one. I have
Sure.
a funny thing. I have a funny idea.
Okay. Cedric, Chugrulk, what are you guys doing?
I am attempting to stand up
Okay.
and just move forward and basically like bump my way through Giorgio more or less,
Okay.
because I'm freaking out from 3 fishmen trying to
Okay.
3 stooges their way at me apparently.
I was about to say, so where do we land? What quickly?
You have one failure and one success right now.
Okay.
You just
Did you-
looked
I
back
didn't see
as
you got up. Did you
Tim
see-
cast Ray of Frost and managed to make one of them slip and bust their ass.
I'm thinking I'm gonna yeet my thunder. Have I got like a line of like all 3 of them that I can yeet?
I would
out, or
say,
no?
yeah, at least 2 of them. The one that didn't, eat shit just a second ago.
Yeah. All right. I might try for a hit on thunder thrust.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack roll. Like I said, the DC is going to be 15 in this regard. As long as you can meet a 15, we'll call this a success.
Okay. Hit that. Did it come through? No? Did not.
Not yet.
Oh, I'm just gonna do mania. So it's a D20 and then plus whatever my hit thing is, right?
Right. Plus your
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
your
just making sure. 'Cause I haven't got
modifier
this
is.
one manual. So that is a 13.
13 total.
13 total.
As you go to throw your javelin, calling out its name, you just are turning this corner and your elbow strikes the end of the building, and you watch as the javelin sails off and just would have definitely made full contact as you drive the javelin forward, but unfortunately missing your target. You guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Yep.
gonna be 2 failures, yeah.
That's 2 failures. But Chugrulk, aren't you lucky?
It's
I wasn't sure if I
literally-
could use it after the fact. Yeah.
It's
You
a-
can
it's
use
a
it whenever,
literally
yeah.
Note in the thing. Make sure to use lucky with this winky face.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah. So I wasn't sure if like. 'cause I was
Really?
gonna-
I'm doing you a
you
favor
could.
right now. You have
No, 'cause
lucky.
you already.
I'm trying to be
started,
subtle about it, but you do have luck.
Sorry, yeah. I'm so used to like I've played too much Warhammer with toxic people.
You
and
can
all,
use lucky when you know the result of the roll. In fact, that's usually when
Oh,
most people
right.
use it.
Okay. Yeah. So again, I've come from yeah,
Right.
I'd rather like play by the rules than fucking be
Right.
a, So as you had mentioned, then I do have a note here that I would usually use lucky with that roll. So do I just re-roll or do I add the?
Yeah.
You would re-roll
Just
it,
re-roll.
yes. Yeah,
Re-roll, yeah. Okay.
You re-roll and add your modifier.
Okay, so that one is 17.
17
Better.
does exceed. You manage to catch yourself right as you're stumbling forward and about to miss. You kind of turn and make this weird, but using the momentum as you spin on your heel and drive the javelin forward, striking directly into the first one as it sails through and catches the other one. They manage to succeed the throw, but they do take the damage. In this instance, we'll just say that go ahead and roll the damage for the purposes of potential combat later.
Oh yeah, my rolls for some reason aren't coming through now. So that's a 1d6 plus.
Plus the lightning or thunder
So
damage.
that's, 10 total, and then is the thunder damage is 46. So that's 18 thunder damage.
As you throw the javelin and it passes through the first one and catches the second one. Thankfully, in this instance, you notice that these creatures immediately just start to convulse as this weapon passes through their proximity and through them. As these two that you contact with Thunder Thrust immediately are just set and ignited by the electrical charge of this weapon. And as it comes back into your hand, you watch as they both collapse.
That's exactly what I wanted from these wet foos. Dang,
As you
wanted
notice,
to light 'em up.
because you took that down, and like I said, the high roll of that, we're going to call that 2 successes in that instance. So that is
Nice.
4 successes in that regard. As you watch the other one, as it begins to skirt up, watching just in the moment that your javelin passes through its 2 companions, gives the eyes go wide. What little you can see of the pupils, these black inky pupils, just grow wide as it spins around and begins to scurry back towards the sewer grate in the other direction. But we will go ahead and call that a success, as you do take down those 2 creatures immediately, as they are seemingly much more vulnerable to that particular damage type. Anyway, what I was saying was those creatures seem to be vulnerable to that particular damage type, and we'll go ahead and call that 2 successes in that regard. So you do watch as the other creature, it spins around and just scurries back towards the grate, watching its 2 companions just become ignited by this strange weapon that they've never encountered before.
So we're clear?
You are clear. You do not see any more.
And they're also weak to lightning.
Yes.
Good team. What I was gonna hang back, and if we ran through everything and we're on the last one, I was going to click Boots of Speed, which makes them disadvantage attack, and like just distract and just run around them and distract them while they tried to hit me and then run away. So it doubles my speed.
Gotcha. Very nice. But
Double my
yes,
speed,
we'll go ahead
and
and
then
call
dash,
that
and
2
then just-
successes, as you basically killed 2 of
Yeah.
them. No, you did kill 2 of them. That was
Fantastic.
10 plus 36, so 46 damage to the one and 36 to the other. Yeah, they could not survive that.
Great job.
Are you not entertained? God.
This is not what you that's a bummer that you had to use the Thunder Thrust for it, but hey, that.
I mean, I just saw like 2 aquatic, and I was like, this is my chance, you know?
Good thought. You know, you got that that gladiator battle tactics going. And what would I say? In battle intuition, I should say.
Yeah.
That
Smart boy.
gladiator's
I just want-
intuition.
This thing's skin is glistening at me, and I have a thunder-based weapon, lightning-based weapon. How can I not?
Right,
I've been thinking about it for too long. Everyone was too close before, and now we have some distance. Like, oh, I'm going.
But at this point, you all pick up your pace a little bit as you head towards the cosmological clock tower.
And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Stopper. What were they asking, or what were they talking about? Must find it for the Countess or
You heard
Duchess?
must find it for the Duchess.
I'm just gonna log that in the back
Sure.
of my memory for now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Damn it. Let's go to the clock tower.
The world may never know. But nevertheless, with a bit more sense of urgency, you make your way along the southern edge of the market square, ducking around certain buildings with that encounter, and you see all around the base of the tower, you do see groups of hooded lanterns that have established, since the last time you've been here, quite the perimeter of barricades and things of that nature in case of any unwanted incursion from a number of different sources. But you do see welcoming faces as you approach the base of the cosmological clock tower. The silhouette of this strange arcane mechanism looming over this portion of the city. What were you going to say, Georgio?
I just said wahoo.
That's good.
Let me go ahead and pull that up again real quick. Where was that? That one. There we go. Roughly around the base of the stairs leading up to the tower, you can see a number of hooded lanterns establishing perimeters. You see even more up in the belfries of the tower, kind of standing watch, bows, prepped, various containers full of arrows. You even see in one of the belfries a large ballista has been set up. As you approach, you hear one of the hooded lanterns. Welcome. We weren't expecting you. Are you all right? Noticing you all kind of traveling at a brisk, accelerated pace. Do you need medical attention? Do you need anything? We were instructed by Lord Elias to maintain this position.
Oh, we're fine. Just monsters in the city. We were hoping to gain access again into the clock tower. Just take a look over the city after we got attacked. I thought we had safe travels where we were going. But
of course. What creatures are you referring to? There's quite a number in this area.
Oh, sure. Some
Fish.
Amphibious.
Oh,
Humanoid.
Yes. We're not certain where they're coming from, but we've come to call them sewer dregs.
I would guess the sewer.
Yes, there's a number of large storm sewers as well as sanitary sewers running through this portion of the city. It's a large collection all around that head towards the eastern part of the city. I would imagine that whatever collection of these creatures are, they're collecting in those areas below the city at this time. Given the contaminated nature of the water around here, no doubt that they've succumbed to whatever delirium is within these waters, these sewers, run off from the Dran River even.
appear to be of some sound mind, and it sounded like they were looking for something and working for a duchess of some sort. That may be something you guys want to look into, or maybe relevant to someone who's dealing with them. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll report that to the next round of scouts as they change positions. I've not heard of a person called the Duchess. Are they related to the Queen of Thieves?
I'm not even sure if that's what they said, if I'm being honest. I've never heard of a Duchess either, but I've never heard anyone call the Queen of Thieves Duchess, so I wouldn't assume that.
There's never been any Duke or Duchess of this area. The closest would be Geldstadt or the free cities of Liberia, where you would find some sort of minor nobility. Don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, feel free to take your rest, and whatever supplies that we can muster up, feel free. They are here for whatever needs that the Hooded Lanterns have of this area. This has become a temporary junction point for larger incursions into the city. But unfortunately, the creatures further north as you get closer to the castle become exceedingly dangerous. And he gives you all a salute and steps aside for you all to head into the clock tower. You see there are barrels of bolts and arrows, a handful of extra swords, daggers, things of that nature, food rations, not a lot of like healing implements other than just basic medical supplies, bandages, things of that nature, but nothing significant, like no healing potions or anything like that, just basic medical supplies, and bandages and things for cooking, and it's usable. It's very much a temporary outpost camp in this part of the city, but nothing of significant value here.
Cedric, do you need any band-aids after that nasty spill?
I think we were making our way up the tower, pretty much, right? I don't know if we need any additional supplies or anything. We haven't used anything.
No.
Yeah, I'm right.
Up to the tower, I suppose.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
As you climb up the tower, you can see that there are several, small contingents of hooded lanterns at various points up and across the tower. They all give you a nod as you sort of head upwards. You can see one or two at various buttresses, utilizing it as a sort of crow's nest in various areas to scout the surrounding regions. You see any corpses of any harpy remains have all but been removed. You still do see and smell the signs of your avian combatants of previous weeks. And as you get up into the belfries, you see piled in one corner the slowly rotting remains that they've tried to clean up of the larger, what's the name of the creature? I forget.
Guy?
Yeah, the lion-faced manticores that you encountered in the belfries previously, that they've slowly been removing, but haven't quite removed such large creatures. But you see on one side, facing into Market Square, these open spaces where you saw that previously from below, you now see it in full view, this large ballista that's been set up here, being tended by two hooded lanterns. And yet you continue to climb and climb up to the area, and you can, as you get up to the highest point of the clock tower, you can, as you take a deep breath for the first time in a while, you can smell still damp but clean, fresh air above the main level of this fog-like layer known as the haze that is an ever-present foe in the city of Drakenheim.
Just real quick, on the way up,
Sure.
The floor where we had seen the drones before.
Oh, yes.
Has that been cleared out? Are they still there? I don't know if
You see, as you pass through that area, the drones are still there. The hooded lanterns,
still working, just doing
they're-
whatever they're doing.
they're trying, from the best you can tell, to fix the mechanisms of the clock tower that seem stagnated, that are definitely moving, but are somehow not fully functional.
Never changes the time, yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
The time is still very much locked in position. The hands stuck between the... in fact, let me pull that up. I do not remember. It is stuck between... as far as you notice, and Tim, you would know this more so than the other members of your party, that this interpretation you see around the clock of the various planes surrounding the material plane is one of several different interpretations of how the celestial bodies and the various planes of existence incorporate and connect with each other, as this is sort of your area of expertise among the arcane. You see that one of the hands is stuck between the plane of limbo and the plane of elemental chaos. Specifically, in this representation of the celestial bodies and the various planes of existence around the material plane and the astral plane that sort of separates it like a big soup. But you see that the actual hands of the clock have not moved. And you know from the various letters that you've read that this clock tower has been non-functional for well over 100 years, even before the meteor fell upon the city. Let's see. But is there anything specifically that you all are doing now that you've reached the upper portions of the tower?
Briefly, there are lanterns up here, right?
Yes, there's a few of them. You notice at the highest points in that separate residential space above where the Crimson Countess had made her nest, they've since cleared out most of this debris, and the various avian droppings and remains of hunted, devoured creatures have all but been removed from this space. And you remember there were a number of beds and bedrolls in that space above where you had fought off the Crimson Countess. There's a couple lanterns up there taking their break between shifts, having a drink and a bit of their rations, as they acknowledge you entering the space.
Would like to ask them if they've interacted with the drones at all, or done anything to try to communicate with them, or if they just completely let it be because they're not hostile.
Well, they We tried to communicate with them, but it's all zeros and ones. I don't know what they're saying. It's all gibberish to us.
Uh-huh. Have you guys studied what they're doing? Can you tell what, I mean, I know they're trying to repair, it looks like at least they're trying to repair the clock, but, I mean, by watching them work, can you guys see patterns, anything, or have you guys studied it at all, or just let it go, because it doesn't really...
We don't really pay them much mind. They've been trying to fight around with, and we assume they're trying to fix the clock, but they just kind of go in circles over time. They try the same thing over and over again, so we just assume they're kind of crazy.
You're probably right.
We're not quite sure. They kind of run around like chickens with their heads cut off. Well, they don't really have heads. They're just big balls and squares. Weird eyes and little itty-bitty legs and feet. They didn't seem angry so long as we stay far enough away, so we just don't pay them much mind.
Yeah, we did the same when we were here. So I was just curious. And then I'll leave them all alone.
Let's see. Give me just a moment. I'm trying to find that. Where is it?
What are you trying to find, Stopper?
The location where the hand falls between on the actual face of the clock.
Oh. Unless it was in one of the notes that you sent us.
No, it was something I read to you all specifically, and I'm trying to remember. I'll find it later. I know at least one of it's stuck between the plane of limbo, and I believe the other plane was chaos, in this sort of representation of the planes of existence as these worldly scholars would represent it. It's one of various representations. You saw another sort of representation of this inside the inscrutable tower, inside the nexus of a more three-dimensional representation of all these planes moving around each other. That's one theory as to how the wider world and universe works in Drakenheim. But no one's 100% certain. They know that various other planes of existence exist. You've even briefly seen some other planes of existence as a result of your interactions with the Arcane Nexus. But other than like high, powerful mages of the Academy, no one is really 100% certain. Tim, you remember there are countless different variations of this theory. It's kind of like the theory of like how existence came into be. There are crackpot theories. There are ones that have been widely agreed upon, but nobody's 100% certain and been able to prove it, even over thousands of years of research. It's kind of like the difference between it's like the Big Bang Theory. Mm-hmm. A lot of people agree that that's a good representation of how the world or the universe came into existence, but nobody can really prove it 100%.
Sure.
It's just one of many theories.
These little guys, I don't know what we're calling them, they're just kind of scurrying around right now.
They seem to be roughly doing the same thing you saw when you first encountered them here in the clock tower. You hear them calling out 0-1-1-0-0-0-1-0-1-0-1-1-1-1-0-1-0-1 as they kind of move various levers. You see occasionally something will move in reaction to it, but nothing seems to really fully affect the clock mechanism as a whole.
Could I try to stealthily away from not away from our group, but away from the people up in the clock tower, just take out one of the wrapped fragments that I have and show it to the Autobots, whatever you want to call them, and see just how they react.
Fragments of what are you referring?
Delirium.
Of delirium. Yeah, you can certainly try. So you approach one of these strange mechanical.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try to do it in a way that like won't get other people's attention around us.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check, just to be.
I was hoping you would say sleight of hand, but that's fine.
Oh, well, you're trying to be
Yeah.
discreet, not having other people see you. So
no, that's fine. It came through this time.
You're fairly certain in your big clanky armor somebody's noticing you do this.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
But you can still do it.
I'm still gonna do it.
Okay. So you approach one of the closest ones to you is the singled-eyed. For the purposes of just simplicity, we'll call them Modrons. Or mono drones, rather. The singled eye. You see, most of them are these singled eye, but there are a couple of them that are. You see the larger duo drones as well. But for the most part, they're the single-eyed mono drones. And as you approach, reaching out with the shard of delirium wrapped in a bit of cloth, you reach out and gesture to it. It looks at you strangely. 1-1. 0-1. 0-1. 0-1. 0-1. 1. 0-1.
1.
0-1, and he turns and continues doing what he's doing, unsure of what you're offering.
Okay. I did like unwrap it and show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I put it back.
Okay.
I just shrug. I don't know.
He doesn't seem to react to it in any way.
It's fine. I got nothing.
Yeah, we got nothing else. Let's go ahead and survey
Yeah.
the real reason we came.
Okay. You head up
Fucking
to...
around.
Well, you're pretty much... For the most part, most of you have already gone up
Just
to the
up
upper
there, yeah.
portion. You can see there are, balconies out here. As you step out, the winds kind of whip by you a bit up here as they're a bit faster moving, but the air is clear. A bit damp, as it is a, slightly rainy day. There's what you can see all around you now, though, is the octarine, fog-like marine layer all around the city in various capacities that you've now come to know as the haze. But at this elevation, you can see far and wide the extent and the density of this fog-like marine layer all around the city. I'll go ahead and pull that up for you guys as well. Just a sec here. What we were looking at earlier. But now you can clearly see the sort of extent of the deep haze. These areas that are extremely obscured. Not to say that there are the haze itself is not, foggy to an extent, but you can still see the outlines of various rooftops all around. But the deep haze itself, as you sit in this area. Did that pull up correctly? Okay, yeah, it did. Sorry. As you hear at number 12, the clock tower, as you look directly towards your path, it's almost impossible to see. You just barely catch the edge of the walls as you look straight through this area of deep haze. Georgio, you know, just based on the layout of the city, were the deep haze not here, you would be looking down into Slaughterstone Square. In the center of where this deep haze is. And you can just barely catch the outer parapet walls that meet at the area known as Kingsgate, but that's about as far as you can see. Unless there's something else you want to try. The general circumference of this deep haze area is roughly what you see on this map.
I mean, from what we can see, is there... is it... It's far and we're high up, but I mean, can we see like creatures roaming the city, but in the gaps between the buildings and stuff like that? Is that...
Go ahead and give me a perception check. It's not going to be an easy one, but it's not going to be impossible given your altitude, but it's still a pretty high DC.
Right. I'm
okay.
Leaving the window.
You look through, and it is, like I said, you see the outlines of buildings, but at this height, you're not really picking up any details of movement, especially in the areas of the deep haze.
Cool. Great.
Anybody else trying something specific that they want to look for, or trying to look for a specific path?
I need to start keeping track of every dice roll I ever make. I need to know.
Just to depress yourself.
Basically, what you see on this visual representation is kind of the extent of the deep haze. There are, boundaries on either side that you could potentially walk without being, exposed to these more dangerous pockets of haze. But, it's difficult to see at this distance. You're certainly willing to try, or welcome to try, if you're trying to parse out more detail.
I'm not really. I think we're just trying to kind of get to where we need to go at this point, and we were just looking for safety.
Yeah.
If it looks equally safe in either direction, then we got what we came for, which is a place to chill for a second and a place to look and see if one was clearly more dangerous than the other, which it is not.
Well, at this point, you have several options. You can continue moving east, north above Old Town, between Castle Draken's outer walls, and then heading southeastward towards Kingsgate, or you can try to go around the southern edge of this pocket of deep haze, or you can try to turn back and discover a different route. It's entirely up to you.
Are endless. can flip a coin.
I was about to say, mate.
Yeah, roll a d2.
Yeah.
All right, we're going by the river.
Huh?
This is gonna be awesome.
Easy enough.
Getting attacked by fish people.
Hey, we've got.
We will see what happens.
And we got thunder thrusts.
Do we?
Well, as you make your decision to head between the Dran River and the southern edge of this pocket of deep haze, with its heart being what you imagine is the area known as Slaughterstone Square, you head back down the wrapping stairs of the clock tower, passing by the various hooded lanterns there as they transition between shifts. And as you reach the base, you begin heading eastward in that direction. Oh, you lose somebody again?
Think we're good,
Shiny.
but shiny.
Oh.
There he comes.
You good, Shiny?
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello?
you're back.
Hello. Man, we are just having
what the fuck?
loads of
Was it just
technical.
me?
It was
I
just
think
you
so.
this
It
time.
was just you, dog.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, like I heard Stopper, and then Discord just was like, "Bye." I was like,
What the fuck?
I just okay,
Discord today, man.
This might be a
is not-
record for technical difficulties today.
dude. I don't even. I
Between
don't
the
even
audio
know.
and now this, we're just batting 1,000 on that one.
Yeah.
Or rolling
Record
a one.
until next time.
Hey, surely I was
Next
gonna say we are
time.
giving ourselves some serious good karma for next.
My God, man. Anyway, yeah. As I was saying before, Discord so rudely interrupted, you are heading east now, with the Duran River at your southern edge, beginning to head ever closer to this pocket of deep haze that surrounds the area that, Georgia, you recognize as most likely Slaughterstone Square. Fairly confident. It is an area, even in this city's prime, was not the most welcoming area, as it was known for the site of many capital punishments. An area your mother specifically said you were never to go to unless necessary.
Sorry, during this time I would probably cast Pass Without a Trace as we've gone past the clock tower.
Sure. Well, if you all are attempting to be as stealthy as possible and avoid detection by whatever might be here, as your companion casts his spell.
Yeah, unless you guys want to book it and want to run the entire way, that's fine. But if we're trying to not gain any sort of attention of others, I would cast Pass Without a Trace.
I mean, that sounds like it makes sense to me.
Okay. Then yes, I cast Pass Without a Trace as we try to make our way.
You all feel clunking of your footsteps in your armor suddenly begin to slowly vanish as your footsteps give way to soft, noiseless progression. Even the impressions in the dirt seemingly vanish behind you as you step forward towards your destination. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and need a stealth check from everybody. But you can go ahead and add +10 with Pass Without a Trace.
Kidding me?
Well, I got 22 with the +10.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's a 18. I rolled another nat 20, but then a 6 as well.
Oh. Yeah.
Just burning those ones up.
Evidently, yeah.
My high was a 30.
Oh my god, are you serious?
I rolled an 18 and an 8. I've got
Oh,
plus 2
okay.
and then plus 10, so
So you got a
So
dirty
I'm
20 total.
dirty 20, yeah.
Okay. We have 18, 22, 20, and I think 19 from you, Tim?
Mine's a 19.
19. Okay.
Yeah.
Good rolls.
With the effects of the spell, you feel fairly confident that your presence is not being detected by anything that might want to do you harm in this area. Nevertheless, I do need a d6 roll from everyone, but you can roll 2 d6s and take the higher number.
Okay.
Higher is good. Unless this is a trap.
Unless this is
Take
a
the higher number,
trap.
wink wink.
3 for me.
Yeah. I got a 4 as my high.
Okay.
Double threes.
3, 4. Tim?
What am I rolling?
2d6 and give me the higher number
higher.
specifically.
That is a 5.
5? Okay. It takes you a while as you skirt around the very edge of the deep haze. Tim, you can sense this malign, dangerous substance in such a concentrated form here in this location. As you reach around the southern edge of this location, coming up on one of these wider streets, the effects have passed without a trace, still well covering your progression. I believe Tim and Georgio, you have the highest passive perceptions in the group, correct?
I think that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
My passive perception is 16.
16.
Yeah, that's way higher than mine.
Yeah, I'm 16 also.
Okay.
Oh, then yeah.
As you all pass quickly across this street, kind of hopping from alleyway to alleyway, this main road, you can't help but look up northward.
I was going to say, specifically, I would like to look.
Okay.
Up.
You look northward up this main road as you pass across, and it's only for the briefest of moments, and were it not for the loud, thunderous footfalls about a mile and a half northward of your current position, you wouldn't even give it a second thought, but you barely see the outer silhouette of this, what is a massive entity of some kind. What you gather from your position in the brief moment you're able to see the two of you, you would gather that whatever this is, and it is definitely moving, whatever this is probably 2.5 stories tall, extremely wide, but just as quickly as you hear those sounds, it vanishes deeper into the haze northward.
Okay, I was going to say, if I think that I would linger to look. But if it walks,
Yeah.
it's vanishing into the haze, then I wouldn't see anything extra. But...
Give me a perception check. Let's just see.
Okay.
Yeah, how did we not see this thing when we were up at the clock
It's a 10.
tower?
A 10.
10?
Yeah.
Not much more than that. Just the briefest of shadows of this massive entity, whatever it was, vanishes. You hear one last... and the sound of... like some sort of steam engine letting off into this deeply obscured location. Without much time or, well, a sense recaptures your waking mind. You think, not now, not now. And you continue on, heading eastward towards your destination at Kingsgate. It takes you a bit of time at your pace, but you do arrive here at Kingsgate. You notice here that the buttresses of the outer and inner portions of Kingsgate have all but been just blown open. The steel of these, not buttresses, portcullis gates, the same sort of assemblies now you've seen many, many times at just outside the barracks of the Hooded Lanterns, and then later on as you captured Templegate in your assault on the cathedral, when you expelled the many Garmir that resided in that location. The actual defenses, these wrought iron and steel gates, have just been blown open by something at some point. Either some sort of device but the actual like main structure still remains, most of the stone, but all of the attachment points for these steel gates is just completely decimated and unusable. But nevertheless, you don't seem to sense any movement around this location as you come up on the interior portion of Kingsgate. It is quiet. It is still. What do you do?
So does anyone actually know, like, the location of the tavern, or we just know it's around here somewhere?
I wouldn't know, would I, JJ?
No, at the end of our last session, you unfortunately
ask
were
that.
not successful in a history check to know the Black Ivory Inn. You just know it's somewhere around here. You don't know specifically. Cedric, since you asked, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay.
10.
And
You don't see anything quite of that size, at least on this side of the gate.
Is
You
the gate
s-
sealed?
No, I just stated the portcullises have been
blown apart.
destroyed.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, something or some implement has just completely destroyed this gate. It is completely unusable as a defensive point.
I'd like to go through and look for it on the other side. I rolled a nat 20.
Okay. The
Nice.
nat 20. It is
Watch it
just
not
as
be
you.
outside the gate. Watch it not be outside the gate. It's like nat 20. Yep, it's not there. You're 100% certain it's not
It's
outside the gate. Great. Anyway, go ahead.
Funny.
Sorry.
You don't see anything. You don't sense any movement. But what you do pick up, just as you reach the inner stone portion of the gate, you see the doors that lead into the interior of these walls still shut tight. The gate itself is just destroyed and mangled. You don't see anything. You don't sense any movement. But you begin to hear soft, ever so faint revelry and the sound of music. The sound of a piano. A on the opposite side of Kingsgate. Not too far. Otherwise, even with that roll, you wouldn't have been able to hear it. But because of that roll, you can hear it. There's definitely some sort of melody and sound coming from the opposite side of Kingsgate. What do you all do?
I'll relate that to everybody and say, I think it's this way. Let's start looking outside. See if I can follow the music.
Yeah, I would think that we would want to go towards it. That seems like an inn sort of situation.
Okay. Give me just a moment here.
Certainly bad guys wouldn't be playing a piano.
No, bad guys don't know anything about pianos.
I don't know about that.
Do you play piano?
Bad guys play organs, not pianos. Come on, Cedric.
Yes,
Come on,
yes.
Kenji.
They play PNE.
Ah, yes. Busting out the middies.
Give me just
We
one
haven't
second.
encountered, like, music outside of singing yet anywhere in the city, have we? Or did they have that at the one in Buckle Down?
You heard like
Yes.
music
I
and,
walked
and
onto the
instruments
stage.
in Buckle Down
Did-
Row, yeah.
And
Okay, I
someone
couldn't remember if it
here-
was just someone singing. I remember we like
Oh yeah, I guess I
assaulted
don't,
by
I don't
someone.
remember
Right.
specifically that instruments were being played, but the impression was it was a band.
Okay,
At least that's how I feel about it.
we're a band.
That's true.
I got a drum kit. Let's go.
I just wanted to look it up just to quick. I'm like, a bad guy who plays a piano. It's like, I'm sorry, did you mean a piano cover of the Bad Boys theme song?
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
that
Oh
is not
my
what I
God,
asked.
no.
That is not what I
But-
asked for.
No, no,
But it
no.
is what I wanted.
Nobody wants
Get out of
that.
my head. Oh shit.
As you
It's
all
actually really funny.
cautiously step through the two-layered portion of high-reaching gate, you see the destroyed remains of this steel portion of the portcullis. As you step out into the foggy, less dangerous portion of this area on the opposite side of the wall, this roughly 35, 40-foot deep segment of the walls that encase the city of Drakenheim, the interior portion of the city of Old Town. You turn, Giorgio, following that soft melody, looking due northward. Let me go ahead and pull up that other map real quick, just because it's a bit clearer. And due northward, just as you pass through Kingsgate, you see a structure. Possibly the largest two-story structure here, due north, just outside the gate, but maybe 200-300 yards northward. About 150 meters for those using. I think that's roughly the same. It's not really.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Nevertheless, this is what you see. Two-story building. From the outside, the Black Ivory Inn appears perfectly normal. The sounds of beautiful music can be heard from a block away. And the lights are all on. The sounds of revelry and the clanging of glasses are heard within, drawing those who wander by towards the inn. The inn itself is a small square building, 2 stories tall with a porch that wraps fully around it. It has a sign hanging above the door that reads, Black Ivory Inn. Come for a drink, stay for the company. It is a pristine building. Stark difference to all the other structures around it that seem to have crumbled either due to lack of care or some sort of other effect. But yet this building seems perfectly intact, well kept, well managed, and occupied. What do you do?
So we can see that there are like lights coming through the window. Can we make out anyone like through the window at all?
You actually see figures on the porch and the balconies above.
Oh,
There are many people, actually. Dozens, even. Within and without, around the
And
building.
They seem normal.
Give me a perception check.
This one is a 15 and 6, so this is going to be a 21.
They look all normal.
Okay.
Regular garb. Men, women, soldiers. Some in light armor, some in heavier armor. Some in day-to-day clothing. Some with tankards in their hands. Others simply leaning against the railing. You see figures inside the well-lit first and second floors of the building.
I feel like we could approach in a friendly way.
Knock knock.
yeah. It's a tavern. We can just walk in.
Let me go ahead and actually pull up a visual representation for you all.
It's interesting.
Sec here. Where's it? This one. This is what you would see from the outside. I don't really have any tokens around, but there are a number of people out here on this porch. You would be approaching from this southern portion here.
And the main entrance, it looks like maybe it's off to the...
It's about
Right
dead
there.
center here on the southern side.
Oh, it's there. Oh, I didn't know.
With the-
Are those stairs
lights.
going up
Yeah.
to the second part?
Yeah, there's an exterior staircase.
Oh, that's what I'm looking at.
bunch of
Okay.
lights.
Yeah, that makes sense. You guys just want to walk up to the... It seems too weird that it's just too normal,
It seems so weird that it's.
but I don't know how to react otherwise.
I think we need to also just act normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can place
I'm
your
gonna be the
tokens down
most-
if you want, guys. There,
I'm gonna
you'd be
the most
approaching from
normal
this
guy at
southern
this
edge.
bar.
Yes, please roll to be normal.
Ain't nobody here normaler than me in this moment.
Hello, do you have any
Yeah.
moonshine?
Well met, travelers.
Well
Yeah.
met, travelers.
Yeah, we're gonna try to be
Yeah.
as normal as possible.
Yeah.
A guy with a robot with a crab on his
Yeah.
shoulder, two Goliaths, and a dude that's definitely wanted for some shit. Like,
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the local sporting event today? Go team.
Isn't the weather? The
I was
weather's
gonna
so
say straight
nice
about it like
today.
Rick and
Hardly
Morty.
any haze.
Oh,
hardly any
Yeah.
haze.
there's even greenery around this location
Yeah,
Probably the
that's
most
extra- super
green
extra weird, actually.
Oh.
that
my
you've
God.
seen in quite some time. Usually,
wish
most
I
of the
did
plants
know.
around here are
Just
completely
had this
dead.
like thought that your character just has that Morty moment that just becomes like, I want to be a real person.
Yeah, yeah.
Desperately like, oh man, I've gone into the character too much, man. I was trying to act too normal. Shit.
Yeah.
Dear. No, but I think you're right. We just act normal. We just kind of roll through. Not draw attention to ourselves.
Knock.
Oh, I'm
the door's open. You can see that there are people
Yeah, I was gonna say,
inside. They're
Yeah.
like
Go in
saloon
and
doors.
just-
There's nothing like stopping you
What about
from going
the-
in.
I'm about to go in and order a drink or something to like, just at least like not just go in and sit down straight up.
What would you all like to do?
Yeah, I'm kind of driving with Chugrulk's plan there.
I would like to be on high alert for anything that is weird in all of this weirdness, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is all
Like,
weird.
This is all very weird, but like, I don't know if it's possible,
I'm gonna
But I
go up
wanna
to the
be on
bar
high
and I'm
alert
gonna
for
like
that.
see if there's like a like a classic like there's just like a tap. I don't know what to order, so I'm like, is this weird? Yeah. So I'm gonna check
Okay.
like, is there like just a tap beverage that I can like eye off and just order that?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think also being wary of like I can imagine like we're walking into like a flash mob, right? And like everybody knows what's going on except for us. And so like people like carrying on like normal, but like keeping an eye on us while we walk through,
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, that doesn't really change what we do. Like,
No, yeah, I
like-
mean, I still think going through, but I want to be on high alert if I need to do another perception roll to, as we're going in to see if anybody's watching us, or like if there's like a collective kind of like attention is drawn to us as people still act normal.
Sure. give me another perception check.
Okay.
Yeah, like the other bar we were at. So we walked in, everyone's
because-
like, "Hey."
Yeah, if all
Hey.
of us if all of a sudden everybody turns to
them.
look at us, then that would feel more normal than if no one treated us differently because we are strangers here, right? Like we all four very a strange group of
Unique.
men just walked into this, and we are not a part of the scene,
Sure.
right? So it's like so I this is a 14 on perception.
14.
Yeah.
Are you making this check as you walk into the building?
As we walk
Okay.
in, yeah, to see if see
Sure.
if people like what's the like if they keep up the act while watching us, right?
Sure.
Like if they continue this as if nothing is wrong, I am going to think that's fucking extra weird, because I would expect everybody to kind of stop and like look and be like, who are these guys that just walked in from the city where the haze is, right? Like, so this
Yeah.
is so strange.
I do have a question.
Sure. Go
with
ahead and ask
whatever's-
your question, and then I will proceed
So
as you
I-
all step into the Black Ivory Inn.
So it would kind of be twofold. Do we have an approximate like idea of year at all for where we are? Like in this.
Oh, in this time
Storyline.
period?
Is
Yes.
this,
Give me a second here. I can tell you
anachronistic or
the
whatever?
date. Yeah. I forget the
this-
exact date.
This seems so weird, and with the greenery around, it almost seems like this area is like stuck in, like outside of the regular like plane that has been happening
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
Drakenheim, because there's not. The only green
like
thing
this
we
place
found were
is stuck in
flowers that were
time
inside of the
kinda thing.
haze. Like,
Yeah.
Give me just one sec. I don't remember what the current day's date is.
I guess like the other side of it would be, does this place look any like very significantly different in like time? Like, people dressing differently,
yeah,
is the furniture very different to what we've
Yeah.
been experiencing?
Chugrulk and Cedric, you can both give me an insight check while I look this up real quick. I don't remember the exact date. I'm trying to find the timeline there. I do have a timeline. I just don't remember where it's at.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like an exact date, but so long if we like question someone, like, hey, do you have the year? Which I understand is a weird question to ask, but to where like if someone responded like, yeah, if someone responded like out of normal like
Sure.
Like, by, like,
sort of thing,
100
that we
years.
would be like, whoa, wait a second, that's odd. Like, these people ain't right.
Just telling you, doing a I'm here to do a cognition test, bro. Like, I'm gonna ask you some weird questions. Fine.
I need to do a cognition test.
Sure. 1 sec.
What year is it? Can
I
you
don't
tell
know,
me
where's my
who the president
timeline?
is?
I have
currently?
it.
Candelabra. Have to remember 4 objects.
That's it.
I know there is one. I just don't remember where it's at.
That's
I will
not
find it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It's been
The
a hot
the year
minute.
isn't so much as important as just like the concept behind it. Of being
Relative
like
time is.
they were off by 3 years when I asked them. Like, that's
what did
so-
you roll,
so strange.
Chugrulk, for insight?
I only wrote 6.
6? Nothing seems out of place. The clothes don't seem to be, beyond anything that anyone would wear normally. In fact, you see, as you walk in, Giorgio, with that perception check, you see, in fact, members of the Hooded Lanterns in here. You see, at least one in the bottom right-hand corner here,
Yeah.
staring up. What you do see right now, immediately upon walking in, if you guys want to move your tokens into the building here, the first thing, obviously, is in the upper right corner of the main tavern space. You see a beautiful young woman playing a large baby grand piano.
Villain.
At the same time, with that perception check, Giorgio, you clock a hooded lantern in the far right corner smoking a pipe. An older looking gentleman, but still, young enough to be, capable. You also see directly in front of, like in one of the front row seats here, a fairly dark-skinned female knight wearing Silver Order armor. Directly listening to, while she drinks up and, cheers to the end of one of the songs that wraps up just as you all enter, looking in and taking a drink, cheering and clapping along with everyone else. You see, a number of various guests of various walks of life. Some look like fairly poor farm folk and, factory workers. Others in fine velvet garb, seemingly noble descent or well-to-do merchants. Behind the bar, you see a very well-clad bartender with flaming locks of hair. Tim, you would recognize this individual as a fire genasi.
Ooh, okay.
Have I ever seen a fire genasi before?
Give me a history check.
That's an 8.
An 8? You have no idea. You've never seen a fire genasi before. You just see a man who...
Do I even know what those are? Or do I see a man with his hair on fire?
You see a man with a head, like a hair, where his hair should be, is a roaring flame.
That's crazy.
You have no idea if it's magic or what the hell's going on, but he doesn't seem to be in pain. He seems to be...
Or that he's not even, like, just a human, yeah.
He just looks like he has slightly pointed ears. He could be a half-elf or some sort of non or humanoid race, but he definitely has a head of fiery locks.
Mm-hmm.
You also see at the bar a beautiful-looking woman with this velvet gown on, and on her shoulder of this gown, you see a seemingly from one of several seemingly familiar emblems of the Queensmen. As she sips a glass of red wine at the bar, speaking with the bartender.
So just like every faction is represented in this bar, then.
Very strange.
Yes.
Only weirder.
And Tim, you recognize as you walk in, there's an older gentleman here, right around the center of this room, clad in purplish robes that you see very clear signs of affiliation with the Amethyst Academy.
Wonderful.
As you all walk in, and the clapping begins to settle down a bit, you hear a a younger man, a half-elven man with slick back blonde hair, cry out to the crowd, still clapping loud enough to, as everyone else finishes up, he cries out to everyone, "Guests of the Black Ivory Inn! Your lady of the evening and our resident pianist, Lady Charlotte, will be here all evening to perform for you all. Please tip your bartenders well, and let's have another clapping round of applause as she begins her next beautiful sonnet." You hear her begin to play once more. This, very effervescent melody carries throughout the entire bar. As you see people beginning to sip their drinks once again, hang around. Hold on one sec. My apologies, guys.
Of all the things that we've come across so far, this is the one that I'm just like, what is going on? Like, nothing
What is
about this.
happening?
Nothing about this is normal.
Yeah, this is very strange.
I don't know why it's like, I know why it's strange, but I don't know why it's.
I don't know if you guys have heard like those songs or like poems and stuff. It's like about like a bar or something, and then it's like it's like cheap drinks, like the music's great, like that, and it's like the devil's bar or something like that. I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting here.
Yeah.
There's something like sinister that's like we're gonna get trapped here, like something.
Move this map just a little bit so the
that's why I'm so
audience can see.
confused that like the greenery is such a like
Yeah.
a point that was
It seems like
mentioned.
like a too perfect. Yeah.
But as the music starts to play again and you watch the scene unfold, what are you all doing?
I'm gonna walk out.
Okay. You step back out onto the porch in front of the Black Ivory Inn.
Can I go all the way back to Kingsgate?
As you walk towards Kingsgate, you continue to walk and walk. And what you notice quickly as you walk out,
Oh no.
Yeah, never-ending trail.
Oh fuck.
At first, you're
We
in
are
such a
trapped in
hurry to
time.
get back to Kingsgate, but as you continue to walk, you look around. And there are people everywhere. It's a clear, beautiful, sunny day. Probably the most beautiful day you've ever seen in Drakenheim thus far. There are people walking around all around you.
Is the gate intact?
Yes.
Oh shit, did we go back in time?
It's not destroyed. And you look around, there are guards posted up. There are hundreds of people coming and going all around you.
Does my armor still have delirium in it?
Your armor, you touch it, it's the same armor. You haven't changed.
Does it? But it still has the veins of delirium and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we're like in like I was saying before, we're in like a perfect scenario.
So
Entrapment.
Yeah.
This is my thought process as we walked into the thing. Was there's a lot of people here, and we came to look for the crest, right?
Yes.
What's the
Chancellor's Crest.
Chancellor's Crest. Thank you. And so I was like, what did the note say? Because that's why we know to go here. And in the notes, it was written that many attempts to collect it have been unsuccessful. The place is occupied, and all attempts to scout the location have resulted in missing agents. Everyone is stuck.
Ah.
And we just walked right into it. So,
Yeah. No, like as soon as you said like this whole greenery and stuff, yeah, it made sense. But you know, there's
the
not
time
much we can
stuff
do.
made sense, but I didn't
Yeah.
think.
Once we
If
were in here, we couldn't
if
do
I had thought
anything
about the
about
note
it.
before
Yeah.
we walked in, I would not have walked in, but we walked in. Anyway,
And now we're stuck.
We're in here now.
so I'm gonna go back in and tell everyone that I think we went back in time because the gate is. I ran to the gate and the gate is not busted and there was no haze or anything.
I'm gonna prepare for freaked out people.
I guess we could go talk to the Hooded Lantern. The Hooded Lanterns existed before everything, right? Or was that a faction that kind of was put together after the fall of the meteor?
Yeah, because what the Queen's Guard would have been.
You recall from what Elias has told you that the Hooded Lanterns were a faction that appeared after the Civil War ended. It was previously the Drakenheim Royal Guard, is the closest association they would have as a military entity within the city, that the beginnings of the Hooded Lanterns were from the remnants of that Royal Guard.
I guess a better question then would be: is that guy from the Royal Guard, or is he a Hooded Lantern? Like, is there a distinct difference in the way that he is dressed in his uniform, or did I assume that he was a Hooded Lantern because that's?
Oh, you know.
At this distance, or you can approach him, or you can.
I'll approach, but that's what I'm thinking about as I approach him.
As you approach him from this distance, he's kind of just staring up, listening as he smokes his pipe. And on his left breast, you can very clearly see the emblem of the Hooded Lanterns.
Okay, so he's definitely Hooded Lantern and not okay.
It's not, the Drakenheim Royal Crest. You've seen that crest before.
Yeah.
You've seen it when you were younger, enough times that you would know the difference. That this is very much the same crest that you've seen many times recently.
Okay.
This is a Hooded
this
Lantern's
dude
crest.
Definitely is someone who is also trapped in time. Presumably, he is also trapped in the same thing we are trapped in, right? Because if he is
I get
from
what
the
you're
time
saying.
before,
Yeah.
he
So
wouldn't,
are you trying to
have a Hooded Lantern patch.
Are you trying to locate if there's anyone here that was here before all of this?
So I guess that's my first thought is everyone here trapped, or is everyone here?
Right. Yeah.
Or are we the only ones trapped? Right.
Yeah, they're there. Based
It
on it
seems
being
like
a
90% of
good
people are
time.
trapped
Yeah.
at least, right?
Yeah.
Like, are trapped. If not, maybe one or two. Maybe like I'm thinking maybe the bartender might have been here forever. I'm just throwing random shit out there, from the poems and songs that I've heard of it like this. But I don't know. So I'm just saying, I agree. There's probably a 90% people, but yeah, maybe we can try and find someone that's been here since the dawn of this place.
I would like to talk to this guy first.
Okay.
Just because he's the most familiar thing, I think.
Yeah, fair. I'm gonna go to the bar anyway. Like I said, I'm still gonna do my normal and just order my drink.
So you approach this individual?
Yeah, and just greet him first, in as non-hostile of a way as I possibly can, while trying to stave a panic attack, I guess. And then ask him how long he's been here.
He looks up, kind of giving you the side eye as he smokes on his pipe. You can see he's got a salt and pepper beard, probably mid to late 40s, if you had to guess. Few battle scars. As he sits there and stares. What specifically are you asking him?
How long he has been here?
Well, I just returned back from the war. I just got back into town not but 2 days ago. We was fighting in Dransman.
Is I guess history. If you do a history check.
Sure.
Is that
Sure.
Civil War? This is going to be history. Since
11.
Yeah, 11.
11.
Is that the Civil War that he's?
You would imagine it's some recent war. The only war that recently has occurred in this region would be the Westamar Civil War. You know that
The place he named.
you know Dransmond is one of the, you know, noble regions of one of the cities of Westamar.
So, like, okay.
Right. It's closer to the in fact, let me pull up the map as a representation here. I don't remember the exact location of every single city. I have the general just a sec here. Where is it?
And I don't remember how long the Civil War ran. I know that it started at the meteor 15 years ago, right?
Yeah, it ran about 15 years until within the last year or two. Or I'm sorry, it was about 10 years. I'm sorry, 10
Okay,
years.
So it's been about 5 years since the war.
Right.
And he got back 2 days ago from the war. Okay.
He's told you 2 days.
Yeah.
He didn't say what war. He just said I got back from the war.
Yeah.
So you're here in Drakenheim. Dransmond is here.
Oh, so that was far. He was over there.
Right. He was in the southwestern portion, just north of the Drakeclaw Mountains, which separates Westamar from Illyria.
Yeah. And we started, if I'm recalling correctly, we started down here.
You started
before we came into Drakenheim.
right
we were
between
down
Drakenheim and Landhelm.
Okay. And before we approached Drakenheim, there was not any war that we knew of. Ongoing, right?
With that history check, no, you wouldn't have known anything other than there isn't currently any war that you're aware of. There are still, conflicts here and there, just because there's not really outside of the there are conflicts in and around Drakenheim, but not in the surrounding cities since the Civil War. When you arrived here with Skrulneck, beginning of your adventure here into Drakenheim, and where you met up with your current companions, you had fought in a number of these sort of skirmishes post Civil War, but the actual conflict, the majority of it, ended over almost 5 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so in reaction to him saying the war in Dransmond, I'll ask, like the Civil War?
The only war I've ever known here in this country. Of course, the damn Civil War. Fucking nobles couldn't make up their goddamn minds after the king disappeared. Made us fight over nothing. All we managed to do was waste our time. Some of us wasted our lives fighting for their frivolous battles. I'm just glad to be home. As he takes
you
another
live
big...
around here.
This is my home. I was born here. I intend to die here. Whatever's left of this city.
Being that my conversation will probably be happening simultaneous, if you want a second, I've got some questions I want to ask the bartender.
Okay.
So I want to ask, I'm going to pull up and ask for, like I said, just going to scout a random drink and just ask for a drink. And as he's pouring my drink, I'm going to just ask him, it's a nice place you got here, like, pretty busy. How long have you guys been around?
Well, we've been around for generations now. I've only been here for the past 4 or 5 years, but the proprietor's always been good to me, and of course, Lady Charlotte is always a pleasure. probably the best musician this side of Illyria. Can I get you a drink, sir?
Yes, yeah, just like I said, just one of
You're
those,
Caspian, aren't you?
yeah. When did you say this place was established?
This place has been around for generations now,
Yeah,
probably
generations. That's fine. But when?
at least 50 years here in the city.
So when was it established? Can you give me a year?
I don't have the exact year. I've only worked for 3 or 4 of those years in the last recent year, but the Black Ivory
Can you
Inn
give
has
us a
been
decade?
known in the city for generations.
Yeah, but what decade
Since
was it?
before the King Ulrich IV took the crown.
Yeah, but what decade is that? I don't want to. I'm not a history major. I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
I
You
don't
just
have
told
the
me.
exact I'm trying to find the
No,
date right
yeah,
now.
right.
That's the problem. I'm trying to give you a
Stop
date.
fucking asking
Yeah, yeah.
questions.
I'm
I just
trying to
don't
give you
wanna-
a
I just
date. I
don't
don't
wanna
remember the
be-
date.
I genuinely
Um,
just don't want this guy to be giving me like a like an ambiguous answer. If you've got a date, then that's fine. But I'm just.
I'm trying to find the date. I'm legitimately trying to find the timeline right now. But
Like it would help, yeah. But I think like in the end of the day, like as long as he has a date and it's not like he's just completely dancing around it, then that's completely changes where I'm going.
give me an insight check.
Okay. Because that's all I think I'm trying to find out. Oh my god. That's
Find
gonna
it.
be
Where is
high.
it?
Yeah, that's a 2.
That's a 2. As far as you can tell, he's being as honest as he can be. He's just
Yeah.
he legitimately is giving you a look of confusion.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good. Just get me one of those, and I'll point it, random drink.
Right.
I just
You prefer Caspian wine? You've got a great vintage.
never been one for one. I'll take, and then again, I'm just gonna point at something down at the tap.
How about an Illyrian whiskey?
All right, I'm gonna agree with him.
Okay.
Take it.
He pours
make
you a strong-looking, very robust, scented. Sorry, I don't drink a lot of whiskey. I couldn't tell you what the great adjectives for whiskey are. Shit, where am
And does he pour it in front of me?
One large whiskey,
He
please.
pours it in a. He
Extra
pours it in.
whisk.
He pours it over a single cube of ice, in
Okay.
a Scotch glass, basically,
Okay.
like a low rim Scotch glass.
All right, I'm gonna take it, and I'm going to I'm
Okay,
gonna,
historical timeline. There we go. That's what I was
It's-
looking for. Sorry, it's at
I'm gonna
the
take
end
my
of the
drink
book.
without sipping and immediately try to leave, and I'm just gonna go back to my group.
So you pay for the drink, but you don't tip him.
And sorry, as without sipping. Sorry,
Oh, without
drinking the
sipping.
drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna take the drink,
Sure.
because I'm in that, but I'm, and I appreciate it.
Right,
sounds like he's
right.
gonna do his effort, but I'm not gonna try it, and I'm just gonna take it and just go to leave, and be like, yeah, cheers.
Okay. So the current year is 1,126.
Okay. I'm just trying
The
to find
current-
out if this guy was like.
That is
really
the current
desperate for a
year.
Drink. This
1126.
just poured me or some shit. Bro, don't leave without drinking the poison that I gave you. No, but no, all right. I'm gonna just have asked my questions.
Right.
Felt like I got the
Giorgio,
vibe
you
that,
were to
this
remember
guy
that
was-
the end of the war was towards the end when Manfred von Kessel was assassinated. And that Cecilia von Kessel, these are the 2 younger siblings of Ulrich IV, died mysteriously. And that year
trying
was... Sorry, that year was 1119. So about 5.5, 6 years prior. That was the definitive end of the Civil War, when those 2 individuals perished.
So, and
Wait.
the establishment date that you told me, is that that is within range of what he's telling me? It's not like completely way that's I guess where I was going.
What
with
he's
that.
saying is that based on the current year that you know,
Mhm.
that he's saying roughly it was established roughly 50, 60 years ago, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. So it wasn't like, like 400 years ago, like
No,
that's a long time,
no.
like, yeah.
No, and
It wasn't like
he
this guy is,
states
like,
that
way from the past.
yeah, it's been around since before Ulrich IV took the crown.
Okay.
So that fits in because Ulrich IV was the last king of Drakenheim.
Yeah. So these
When
two,
the
again,
kid-
I'm not
when
listening
the
to
kid-
both stories.
yeah.
But they do kind of match up, like the
Right.
two. Yeah, timelines. Yeah, that makes sense.
In what year did the meteor fall?
The meteor fell. Give me just a moment.
That would be
1111.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was
Good year.
That was September
Good
16th
year.
at approximately 8:13 p.m.
So that's when the meteor fell, and then the Civil War was 19.
The Civil War ended in 19. So it was approximately 10 9 10 years. Somewhere in that range.
Oh, the Civil War is basically at the start of the meteor falling.
Right. There was a
Ah, okay,
power
right,
vacuum
yeah.
because
They did
the
ask that.
yeah, little
Makes sense.
no one ever found the
Yeah.
king and no one ever found his eldest son.
Yeah. A great time for a civil
Until
war.
now.
Right as a
Right,
natural
and there was a
disaster
power
hit.
vacuum and the two younger siblings fought over the crown. That was Manfred von Kessel. Giorgio, you remember Manfred von Kessel was with you in Kesselholm the night it was attacked. That was the night he was assassinated. And the night you met Skrulneck when your eye was cut and you were nearly poisoned and left for dead in the river.
And so just I'm sorry. Earlier you said the Civil War ended when Manfred was assassinated and Cecilia was what? I'm sorry, I was taking notes on this.
Mysteriously perished.
When she mysterious. Okay.
They both died within like a month of each other.
Okay.
And that ended the Civil War because there was no longer a figurehead for
sometime
either
that-
side of
that's
the
when it
war.
kind of fizzled. Okay.
So, without a driving force one way or another, everyone just kind of, well, fuck this, I'm not getting paid anymore. That was the general consensus you saw at the end of the war.
I do want to ask it, just someone that's like close by the door here.
Sure.
I guess just the lady and the minstrel. I want to ask them each like individually what if they just have the year. I've been traveling a lot. I'm just not from around here. I just want to ask them, do you know what the year is? But ask them each individually, independent from one another.
Which individuals are you specifically talking to?
The like I don't know, this one person like just up
This
close
guy?
to me looks like some sort of like weird minstrel, and then the one to my left.
Okay.
Assuming that
They seem sort of engrossed in the performance, but you do manage to kind of look at them, and they kind of give you an angry look of like, why are you bothering me? But you ask what the year is?
Yeah, and each of them independently from one another.
Which one do
So
you ask first?
I'll ask the lady first.
What do you mean you don't know what year it is? Are you
A
stupid?
man of the cloth? No, man of the cloth. You're doing a lot of traveling. It's just hard to keep up with everything sometimes.
You've been living in the
Sorry.
woods?
Kinda, yeah.
It's 1111. It's the easiest thing to remember. They're all ones.
You know what? That's completely my bad. I am so sorry. You're right. I am an idiot that's been living in the woods. I appreciate your time. And then I just turn 90 degrees and ask the same question to the minstrel.
The performance must be good if the other chicks is like.
They really must not give you much. The guy looks at. It really must not give you much of a stipend if you can't afford some type of timepiece.
No, none.
Like she said, it's 1111.
None.
It's the easiest thing to remember. They're all one number. Gosh damn.
Short-term memory thing. I'm so sorry. 1111.
You gotta turn back to the first lady.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, what year? That guy said it's 1111.
It's like they just.
Are you absolutely sure it's 11:11?
Yeah, I heard it's the easiest thing to remember.
She just looks at you and doesn't say a word. Just continues to watch and sip her drink.
Kidding me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna just stand close away and just be okay with where I am right now.
Now, JJ, you said the lady in the red dress at the bar.
Yeah.
On the top side of Chugrulk.
Yeah.
Has the emblem for the Queen of Thorns. It's one of the queens.
It has a Queensman emblem. Yeah, one of the various emblems.
Okay. I think I want to talk to her
Okay.
as well then. Because we also were sent here by the Queen of Thorns.
Queen of Thieves.
Yeah, Queen of Thieves. Yeah.
Give me one sec here.
I think I've said Queen of Thorns literally every time I ever talk about it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I also think that every time too.
Give me just a sec here. So you approach the young woman. She has auburn hair, beautiful gown on. That's only interrupted on the shoulder by that emblem that you've seen now. Nevertheless, you see her sipping this beautiful glass of this, what you imagine is some sort of deep red wine, as you approach. What do you say?
I'm going to say, excuse me, I see that you have a Queensman emblem. Were you sent here by the Queen of Thieves?
She turns and looks at you, giving a sly smile. The Queen of what? Somebody's had more to drink than even I have. There's only one king in Drakenheim, my dear. His name is Ulrich. What do you mean a queen? Drakenheim's never had a queen.
That emblem that she's wearing, is that is there a chance that I'm mistaken for what that is?
You're fairly certain it's an emblem of the Queensmen.
Which I guess I don't know if they existed before. Well, they couldn't have, because the Queen of Thieves was not around then. Okay, so then I'll gesture to the emblem that she has and say, "Oh, my mistake. I saw you were wearing an emblem of the Queensman. Is that not what that is?"
She looks at her shoulder. To be honest, it's just a beautiful gown that I bought. I'm not certain what this even means. I just thought the gown was beautiful when I bought it.
Where did you buy that from? I have an emblem just like that. Not with me. But that's a very particular thing that represents a group. And I didn't think that they would have sold that with a dress anywhere. That's interesting.
Give me an insight check.
I was gonna say, I think I know what's going on here, but can I talk to Georgio or no?
Hold on one sec. What'd you roll?
A 4, so it's a 10. It's not terrible, but like, come on. Yeah, I need a good roll, please.
Even with a 10, You see this look of... She looks at the emblem, looks at her glass of wine, and takes another sip.
Does she even see the emblem?
She sees it. She's
Oh,
looking
she
right
sees it.
at
She
it.
just doesn't know it. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
confused.
Perhaps I've had
I
too
think
much
that-
to drink. I
Yeah.
don't
There's something tainted in
remember
the drinks,
where.
Guys. Don't be drinking shit.
I don't remember. I don't honestly remember where I got this gown.
Forgive me for being so forward, but do you have any notes or like a booklet or any like a journal with you or anything like that?
Darling, if I had a journal, I wouldn't let you read it. Lady's gotta have her secrets now. You can start by buying me a drink if you're that interested.
Do it.
No, we're trying to get him to stop drinking. We're trying to get everybody to stop drinking.
Loose lips sink
You guys
ships.
need, do us a favor as homework for this exact place. Listen to a song called The Sentinel, and it's literally this whole fucking this whole pub is that song. Oh my god. No, this is dangerous. We gotta get people.
Yeah,
to
I
stop
think
drinking.
that's where I'll back off and just apologize for bothering her. And then
Whatever.
go back to the group. We're in a bad spot, fellas.
I don't know what's going on.
Tim, while this
Yeah,
is going on, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I would like to talk to the dude that's in the robe. That's, part of the thing. But if Spud's gotta go, we gotta, that's all.
Do you need to leave soon, Spudley?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I've
he
missed
said
a couple
it.
times, but yeah, I am. I gotta head shortly.
Okay. Two things before we wrap up. I'd like, Tim to have an opportunity to ask a quick
Talk
question,
to
if you
Tim.
don't mind, and then I have one more thing.
Talk to your boy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll meander over to my brother in the robe.
Huh? What do you want? You can see he's sipping a large, tankard of some really strong, hoppy ale. What do you want?
Greetings, sir.
I've never seen something like you before. What are you?
I'm a man of mystery.
You look like one of the Shield Guardians. Who's your master?
I have no master.
Surely a construct can't be sentient. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen.
I work for the Amethyst Academy, don't you?
Yes, Give me just one sec. I gotta look his name up. Brother, there's so many NPCs in this tavern. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
I want to talk to that dude over there in the corner.
I
That
wanna talk to that
specific
dude.
one dude. Fuck that one specific dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can I go back to the people that I asked a year? And I realized I never asked for their name.
No. Give me one sec here. I gotta
What were
find
their
him.
parents' names? Because that was important to what I needed to know.
Yeah.
You want their
We're
blood
trying
type too while we're at it?
Yeah, that's it.
If you have it, that'd be
Shoe size.
great.
No.
Yeah. Not trying to say that you should come up with it, but
If you have the last four of the social, I don't need the whole thing, just the last,
The last four. The mother's maiden name. I'm Balthazar Adamos of the Amethyst Academy.
Well met, sir. I am Tim.
Tim. Nice to meet you. What can I do for you? Are you also of the Academy?
Yeah, I am part of the academy. Just to ask.
I'm sorry, that is not the right name. The name is brother, give me a break, okay? His name is Osiris Cronley. I'm sorry. Osiris Cronley is his name. Sorry. It's
No
Osiris Cronley.
I had something I was gonna ask you that just fucking cracks me up.
I can't remember. I'm old, damn it.
Old and drunk, I can see clearly, which is fine. Hey, you, with your age, you deserve to feel how you want to feel. But to ask, it slipped my mind. Who's running the academy right now? I'm very low on the totem pole. I'm just looking to see who I should be looking to speak to that's, higher in the chain of command here.
Of the entire Academy or the city?
Just the academy. Just the
Or
academy.
the Directorate, of course. It's always the Directorate. I don't know their names. They're extremely secretive. Most mages don't even know that there is some sort of ruling group of the Academy. The Directorates, generally.
And how long has the academy been established for? Again, sorry, I'm very new. I'm very new here.
Hundreds of years now.
And what year is this?
It's 1111.
Great. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your drink. I will probably see you on the academy tower. Just to ask, how is the tower, by the way? Is it how is this tower? It's great. Is it?
Well,
in
you
perfect
can
condition?
see it right there. Look out the window. You look out the window, and the Academy Tower is 100% intact.
The Academy Tower sure is inscrutable, huh?
Whereas you have known it to be this floating chaos above the city up until now, it is as pristine as it's ever been. A solid spire into the sky above the city. You see no haze. It is a beautiful sunny afternoon. It is just about beginning to sunset at this point in time. You can see the sun is beginning to fall on the western horizon just as you look up at the silhouette of the Academy Tower.
Out of character, do we know the specific date at the meet? I don't think this is gonna be. I'm just curious. Do we know like a specific date that the meteor hit?
Yeah, you just told us.
Yeah. So
I
I believe it
missed
was
that.
September 16th.
Yeah.
And what
At 8:31. Right.
what's Osiris? What's today?
Well, it's... I believe it's September 6th. And as he's saying this, you begin to feel shaking.
Okay.
All
We
of
gotta
you,
go.
all of you begin to feel shaking just as Lady Charlotte wraps up her sonnet, her series of... As you've been having these conversations, beautiful music playing in the background, you see the glasses on the bar beginning to shake. You see the tables and chairs all around you, the building beginning to shudder and shake. Just as the slick-haired man at the forefront in a velvet coat. Now calm down, everyone. It's just an earthquake. Nothing to see here. Lady Charlotte, and right as he says this, a large chunk of debris sails down right as he points at the beautiful piano-playing woman. This long, extended shard of meteoric iron and crystallized octarine mineral sails down and directly through the center of her chest, pinning her against the back wall. As the whole structure begins to shake. I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, man.
Dex save.
What up, brother?
I got.
We gonna get impaled?
I got a 10.
Definitely get impaled.
Farewell, my friends.
It's okay, we're gonna be
Definitely
resurrected at some point. I don't know what the fuck's happening in this place.
This makes me feel a little bit better if what I think is about to happen, because by the time we saw if the thing gets destroyed by the meteor, then by the time we see the bin and it is intact, we've already been transported, right? Like, we already lost.
What did you roll, Giorgio?
10 for me, sorry. Sorry, I didn't put it in there.
Okay.
If we die in here, do we die in real life?
Right.
The ultimate question, right?
Cedric, Tim, Chugrulk,
Yes.
Giorgio. Is the first chunk of extraterrestrial rock and mineral sails through Lady Charlotte's chest. You feel the whole building begin to shudder and shake. Before debris falls like rain upon your heads.
Well,
As you are engulfed in extraterrestrial fire and chaos. As each of you come to terms with your mortality.
wait, hang on. I have Indomitable. I can reroll a save that I failed. Did I fail that save, or was that a success?
Oh yeah, you failed.
I failed it. Okay.
You all failed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that.
It was
Let me
possible.
roll this one more
Yeah,
time. just in case, just in
Trug
case.
roll.
Go ahead.
He ended up failing it on a 20. So.
No, I rolled
Yeah,
literally
it's,
an 8 again. All right, same exact number. All right, we're
Is
good.
that- yeah, I don't know if you can succeed that roll.
You never know. Look, you never know. I figure I might as well try if I'm dying, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh my god.
You'll just be stuck in the astral plane
This
while
is
the rest
so
of us go back to the real world.
80 d6.
I've been in here
Alright,
before. It's
okay,
not that
motherfucker.
bad.
As your consciousness fades from the material world, you are left in a void of nothing. As your mind wanders from your body, the flash of pain so intense like nothing you felt before. It is only when a soft melody begins to play once more in each of your ears.
That's what I meant to say. Edge of Tomorrow. That's what I meant to say.
Your eyes open up, staring at the wooden slat ceiling. And the sound of a piano trickles into your
I knew it.
ear as you look up from the floor of the Black Ivory Inn. And you hear the revelry of the patrons, the cheers following the ending of a soft, melodic song. As if none of the chaos of the final moments of your lives mattered at all. You find yourselves lying on your backs once more in the Black Ivory Inn. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Nice.
Fantastic.
That's like
Yes,
Next
I love
se-
being in purgatory.
Next session's gonna be a fucking
Let's
mystery
do it
room fucking
again.
episode.
Oh my
Jesus
God, I
Christ.
love it. That's actually my favorite. That's so fun. Fuck, that's so funny actually. I was like, as soon as we walked in, I was like, if this is anything like that song that I know, like that I was talking about, this is gonna be sick. And then it just almost like identically followed. I was like, nah.
If you also didn't
Like,
catch the
it's
drift,
the
this is literally the equivalent of Rocks Fall, Everybody Dies.